and welcome back to Bourbon Barrel Talk. I'm your host, Scott Minton. Today we're back in the Brock Bourbon Bar, and we're doing a little Starlight.
We never do Starlight.
Well,
I mean, maybe like once a blue moon. You know?
I was about to say, if you actually go back in the past, like how many episodes, we've only done like a couple recently.
Yeah, we have.
We did take a little bit of a hiatus, and it's not because we don't love the folks there. It's just that I felt like we kind of over talked about it for a while. So I was just like, let's get outside the box. Let's do something else for a little while. And then like every
spread the love.
Well, and then not only that, but like every year when Repeal Day happens, right? It's like one of those things we kind of get sucked back into the whole madness behind it because everybody gets FOMO, right? Like they're always releasing stuff, you know. And I didn't even like. I know we've got a couple of like 9.5-year-old bottles today.
Yeah,
I didn't even look to see what barrel numbers they were, like, because then we're like, oh, are they the 1600 series? Are they blah blah blah? You know, so or I guess technically now they're the 16,000 series. But anyway, long story short, like what's being released, what isn't being released, and we always like are as a group or a collective group of people that are fans of Starlight, like we're like, what's happening on Repeal Day? Because it's usually the family reserve stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's usually the best stuff of the season. So
absolutely,
Nick, you lead the way. I think you got the first bottle we're talking about.
Yes, this is Starlight Single Barrel. It is 9 years. Comes in at 120.1 proof, and this is a Blake Hubert release. And so I'll tell you, over the past many years, Blake has been one of my favorites. You know, whenever it comes to his, like, because both Ted, Christian, and Blake, you know, usually release something on their own during this time. So aside from the family reserve, like rye and bourbon, each of them chooses one to be a release.
Now, I will say this. Blake is the only one. He doesn't do it, at least I don't think he does it intentionally. He might do it intentionally. I don't think so, because Blake's really nice. He's the only one that I talk to that, like, when I talk to him, I feel dumb. Like, he's so smart. Like, Blake is so smart. Like, when I talk to him,
he is super smart.
Like, it's just like when he starts talking about things and, like, he dives in so deep and explains things in such a manner. And I'm like, Godly, this kid is so smart. Like, he's so smart. So, like, I love talking to Blake. His palate seems to line up a little bit closer to Ted's, and I'm typically a Ted guy. Christian has a more unique palate, but Christian stuff is always pretty good. Like, it's weird how they all have a little bit of a different, like, flavor profile that they kind of pick on, but
Christian has always become like more sophisticated. He will find the unique things to do it. Because I mean, he's also done the rum finishes as well. Yeah.
And I think Christian too, like, he is a bourbon connoisseur. Like, he's got some crazy bottles. We've talked about different things, kind of off mic, about like things that he's tried and different collection type stuff, and, you know, just retro stuff. So got a very, very sophisticated palate. Not that Ted or Blake don't. It's just like he drinks a lot of like super exotic stuff, and I'm sure Blake and Ted do too. I haven't talked to them about that. So
right.
The other note, as you kind of mentioned as well, is this is from the 2016 series of barrels.
It's from the 1600 series.
Yeah, it's 16,000 on here, but it's the 2016 barrel releases.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And those were the ones that were, you know, banger, both rye and bourbon. Yeah. You know, that was, I felt that
especially.
Yeah, I'm not doubting that one bit. But the 2016, whenever that juice matured, really put them on the map because it was really good stuff during that time period.
Yeah. When they started hitting 5 to 6 years old, it was on at that point. Like, oof. Oh my God. That's pretty tasty. Caramel.
I get almost like a molasses.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that. It's not quite that dark for me, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Okay. I'm thinking maybe more molasses because it feels like it's a
richer,
thicker.
The floral note on this, dude, is just insanely nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Super delicate.
Yeah, everything about this is really nice, easy. Is there a little bit of kind of like, I'm not going to say burn, but I would just like some heat to it.
You got the Kentucky hug a little bit.
It's got a little hug to it.
Hoosier hug.
Okay. I'll go with that Hoosier hug. Bring it.
It is Indiana bourbon. So
you are correct. All right. Hoosier hug.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, it's got the baking spice, the caramel. It's got a little bit of that floral note. Is just so sweet and contextualized. Oh, it's almost like a mulberry flavor, like that smell from like the mulberry trees, like that flavor.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I must say, I'm not familiar with mulberry. I mean, if I am, I don't recognize it, but that might be you guys. You probably spent more time out in the country. I was fishing around a lake, so I can tell you what like fish, worms, and crickets smell like. But I about to say,
well, if we ever get bourbon that tastes like fish, worms, or crickets, we got a way different problem. Something went bad in that barrel. No, we had mulberry trees on our 8 acres in Scott County, so it's just such a like memory for me, like what it smelled like when they bloomed and kind of that flavor profile.
I can't remember which set of my grandparents had it, but I know one of them did, if not on their lot or very nearby.
Right, for sure.
But I've always attributed to Blake's as, kind of a sweetness-esque bourbon that he comes across. I mean, that's why they kind of gravitated to him, because you have that kind of dark, rich sugars or, kind of molassesy honey flavors that kind of come through.
I need to ask them what yeast strain they use, like what kind of yeast.
That would be cool to know.
Now, the interesting other thing that, I didn't ask this at Repeal Day, but what barrels? What barrel types do they use?
Well, I mean, they have a million different types, right? So I think did I hear Christian on a recent video on like either Facebook or Instagram say that like they have barrels and in different like wood types from like 20 different like cooperages?
Yeah, it was insane.
Holy
from
crap!
That.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I mean
that is insanely.
But they're trying to expand, mix, and do different things. Trying to develop their brand. I mean,
well, and they're pretty much hitting it.
Well, not only that, it's what makes their product its absolute best, right? Like they've got the grain down, they've got the mash bills down, right? But with the 60-20-20, maybe it's the Sago Monroe barrel. If it maybe with the 75-21-4, it's something else. For the 4 grain, maybe it's the Spirit Canton barrels, right? Like it's just
they're just really good at hitting down the different barrel types that go with the particular flavors that they're trying to get.
Now, I'll tell you, this in all honesty, the Sigmund Monroe Double Oak was like my literally first, what I fell in love with Starlight on.
Yep.
Yep.
That was like one of the first ones. I mean, I think I had Carl T a couple of things around, and I've had the Blackberry, on the bar. But whenever I had that to me really got that was like the kick the door open. All right, take my money. This stuff was good.
So which Double Oak pick was that?
It wasn't a pick. It was just a retail.
Retail shop.
Yeah, it was a retail shop. It was Double Oak, and whenever I was reading the back, it's like Sigmund Monroe, barrels.
Yeah.
And man, that thing was just delicious, rich, nice oak and sweetness to it. That was my first love.
Yeah.
All right, Babs, what we got?
So we've got Starlight Single Barrel Bourbon Whiskey. This is a Ted pick. It comes in at 9.5 years and 125.1 proof. It is also from 1,600 barrels.
So while you guys are kind of stepping, I'll tell you, we had a little conversation with Ted, and there's a couple other people around Ted as well. And usually Ted's releases had been somewhere almost a little yeasty, sometimes 4 grain, and different things that just kind of made Ted. He wanted to, I think, try to really key into kind of the old Kentucky traditional style bourbon. But one thing that, as if you've ever had a conversation with Ted, there are certain things Ted will kind of talk about or kind of prop himself up on.
Yeah.
And he goes, Blake's has been really good, but mine are now starting to cut as the age is starting to hit where I want them to. My stuff's turning in and going to be far exceed Blake's. As Blake's gets a little older, his is going to start falling off, and mine's going to be coming on more.
It's weird how people talk about that. Somebody the other day was talking about how they think Bardstown is going to hit their sweet spot around 8 to 10 years, but after that, they think it'll start to turn down. And I'm like, that's so weird how like they literally only have 8-year-old barrels out right now. So how can you already make a prediction, right? And it's so weird, but these dudes are like, they've drank so much whiskey and they've tried so much older stuff that they kind of know like it has a peak season, right? Like MGP, I would say like 10 years old is
Right,
about
yeah.
the peak on MGP, 10
Yeah.
to 10 to 11.
Yeah.
You know, some of the 12-year-old
Potentially
barrels,
12.
you know, but like they go from this flavor profile at 7 and 8 years, and then at 8 to 9 they start picking up that cherry cola note,
Right.
and then at about 10 to 11, moving into 12, then they start getting a little bit heavier oak, and it kind of drowns out some of the flavor. And that may be what they're talking about, right? Like, is at what point does the oak start to overtake the other flavor profiles that you really are trying to get out of your bourbon?
Okay. Yeah. I can understand that.
Now, my first couple noses on this, and for some reason, I'm almost getting like an undertone of a nut smell. Is anybody else getting that?
There is
I
a
just wanna
tiny
make-
nut in there.
About to say, I just want to make sure I'm not a little crazy on that one.
It's a very faint nut.
Like a pecan?
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking no. I'm
Walnut?
thinking like just regular, peanuts. Like
No.
that's. Think of it this way: if you smell a peanut that's still in its casing, that's what I'm kind of talking about. Like like if you pick up, like out from like Texas Roadhouse or something like that. That's just kind of what I'm getting on that.
All right. I'm more towards the pecan almond ish.
Dude, this reminds me of old school, like Four Roses. Floral, sweet, ton of mouthfeel.
Yeah.
Oh, there's like a little bit floral in the front, but I'm getting sweetness on the back end.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's hard to get that sweetness on the backside as much as you get on the front.
Yeah. Almost like the OBs.
Yes,
OBSO, OBSF, OBSQ.
but no, this is different from the prior TED releases for all the repeal days.
100%. It is definitely different. I wonder what barrel this was.
1670.
Yeah, no. No, what was it?
She's
Segova
being
was it
literal.
can? No, I get it. Yeah, no. But also, see, that's the other thing that I really appreciate about Starlight. Like, they've done so much playing with char level 1, char level 3, char level 4, toasted heads, and
Yeah.
char 2. Like, I mean, like, they like,
Experiment like no other.
yeah, I mean, it's the FAFO, right? Like, we're just gonna fuck around and we're gonna find out. Like, what does this taste like? What's it gonna do? And
I mean, heck, there was a group release. I can't remember who the group was, but it was called Starface, and it was the 2016 rye release, but it was done in a char 5.
right,
And I'm down to my last bottle of that.
yeah. And what was it, like 5-6 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, especially those early rows, dude. I'm telling you, they were so good. We did at least 3 of those barrel picks between myself and a couple other groups and stuff like that. So I don't know, crazy. So these are both really good in different ways.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like two sides of a coin. I mean, I think Blake brings something in this and his, but then Ted's is like, I think as somebody described it, is trying to get kind of an old traditional Kentucky style
Yeah,
flavor out of it.
and it does. I mean, like I said, like immediately when I drank that, I'm like, oh God, 4 Roses. Like it
Right.
just like tastes like 4 Roses. Like, I mean, it might not even been what Ted intended, but like to me, that's just what it kind of reminded me of.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
That's crazy. All right, we got to pick a favorite.
Oh, do we have to?
I think you got it too.
Unfortunately, I do, and I think I know what I'm picking.
Fluff. I don't. I need a little bit more of the first one.
Need a little bit more of the Blake.
I need a little bit more of the Blake
All right,
for me to decide.
all right. Nick, I think I'm gonna take just a touch more of that too.
There you go. Go back and revisit. I have just a tiny bit here myself.
There you go. All right.
So I'm going to go back and revisit because I have a tiny bit left, but I think I know where I'm going. I think I already have a decision made.
Well, it's just and the reason I think I'm having more of a hard time is they're both really good mouth, palate, but one nose seems to kind of stand out a little bit for me. So I think that's kind of where I'm being pulled from, is the nose on one versus the other.
No, I think I'm right. Here's my fight. And the thing is that I enjoy the smoothness and the sweetness, but the other one brings a little bit more depth and complexity and mouthfeel than the other.
Okay.
And that's where my fight is right now. I mean,
See, I think I think the depth and complexity are similar. It's just in a different profile. Like one is floral, tobacco, sweetness, things. The other one is sweet, contextual. Like, I don't know.
that's why I said it's like two sides of a coin. And I mean, I will honestly say, this is going to be a 1A, 1B. This is not like, it's not like almost like a 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's
going to be, it's so close. It's so
Barbara
close.
said this, I think, on the last episode we discussed. Like, it's going to depend on the day that you're drinking these.
What your mood is.
Yeah, what your mood is.
What your mood is.
What do you want, right? Like, and like I said,
yeah.
It's really hard for me to not initially just go with the Ted because, like I said, one of my first loves in bourbon was Four Roses.
Right.
But man, this Blake pick is also just pretty good. Pretty good.
I was pretty much I was sold on Ted until I went back for the Blake, and now I'm going back and forth.
I know. All of us are. This is just such a hard decision.
That's why I was like, for me, like Ted, that type of, but like that Four Roses. Like I love old school Four Roses. That's what it just kind of immediately, as soon as I started drinking, I was like, Four Roses. That's what it just reminded me of, like home, like give you that warm hug that you that you used to get, right?
That your granny used to give you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that just kind of amazes me right now is that both of these are 9+ years, in age, and it's awesome. I think it's really awesome.
And to think we were drinking this stuff when it's 4 years old. And we were talking about
it was
how
good.
Different it was. Good.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Now that tells you how long we've been doing this, right?
Well,
right.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Way too long.
All right. Do you have a decision yet?
Nick, you want to go first? Do you think you're good?
I think I'm good.
All right.
I think I'm going to. Here's the thing. I'm going to second guess myself totally on this.
You always do.
But the 1A, 1B is going to be. I'm going to have to go Blake slightly edging out because I just enjoy that profile just slightly more, and it could be as you were saying, time of day.
Yeah.
Right now, what I'm feeling, what I had for lunch, what I had for dinner.
Yeah.
What's hit my palate right, and what's kind of enjoyment. But right now, it's that Blake's hitting just slightly better than the Ted, even though the Ted is amazing.
Yeah.
And I think Scott's almost having an existential crisis, trying to go back and forth.
He's like, oh, fluff.
I know, as I said, I was going back and forth. I said it's a 1A, 1B thing. I went back and revisited Blake, and I was like, well, okay.
Well, all right, I'm going to follow you up here. I'm going to let Barbara think here for a second longer. So like I said, it's like to me, I'm like, oh, do I choose Old Forester, OBS, blah, 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 which is the Ted pick? Because that's what it just kind of reminds me of, right? Mm-hmm. Or do I go with the Blake, like, traditional, nice, like, delicate, sweet, that light floral baking spice? Like, what do you choose, right? Like, it's like, do you choose your
new hotness or old love?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, like, do you take Old Trusty or do you take man, it is crazy. I honestly think I'm probably still gonna stick with the Ted, only because, like I said, I can't get past like that memory, that thought process, like the time that I spent with Al Young drinking it just reminds me of Four Roses. Like I said, it might not even have been what Ted intended when he picked it, and it might have been exactly what he was like, dude, that reminds me of Four Roses, right? So it's one of those things I've never really talked to Ted a whole bunch about, like what did you love outside of
Starlight? Well,
not even Starlight, just kind of like,
yeah.
A lot of times Ted and I, we'd talk about Wild Turkey and Four Roses, but from like a high level, right? It was never like what was my preferred palate level.
Okay.
It was just kind of like, this is what I think this person does well, and this is what I think this does well, right? It was never like, oh, but I really like the taste of this the best.
Okay, gotcha.
So I think that's the difference. Like, I'm just from style perspective, like that's what I got that information from Ted. Never really asked him, and I probably should have. I just never did.
Right.
Like, so what's your favorite? Like, what do you drink whenever you're not drinking your own juice, right?
Right.
So, I don't know. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go Ted 1A, Blake 1B, like kind of like what you said.
I mean, it's definitely going to be a 1A, 1B thing, and I do still, like the previous episode, I'm sorry, this is going to come down to what I had for lunch, what I had for dinner, what the season is outside, what I'm in the mood for. But if I had to choose,
Guns against the head.
I know. I do prefer a Blake slightly over a Ted. I will admit it.
There you go.
I mean, as I said, I don't
But
think
it's
I don't
so
think
close.
Nicker and I are almost always in line. So,
Yes.
like, I was like, when he said, I was like, I can't believe I'm going against Nick today, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, that, as I said, it just, I think both of these are unique and really good in their own way.
Absolutely. And I truly believe it. It really would be the time of day, what I had for lunch, season, all of the above, on what would be my preferred. Tomorrow it may be Ted.
Fair enough. Well, I think that's our episode of Bourbon Barrel Talk. If you want to find us, you can find us on Facebook, the Instagram, or the X. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. That way you get those episodes as soon as they hit on Sunday morning. Give us a like, give us a share, give us a 5-star rating on whether you're using Spotify, Google, YouTube, what's the other one? Apple, iTunes, whatever.
iTunes.
Just throw us out a review. Give us a 5-star. Tell people why you like us. What content, what's your favorite stuff, and then if you have questions, you can email them to bourbonbarreltalk@gmail.com. This is Scott signing off from the Brock Bourbon Bar with Nick and Barbara. Peace out.
Prost.
Slancha.